You know, there's also another side to the retail story, and that's real estate. Now, for many Americans, the first of the month has come and gone, leaving landlords trying to figure out what to do next, as some tenants, whether it's a commercial tenant or a regular renter, cannot or would not pay rent amid this pandemic. What is the next step? What does this mean for real estate on commercial and on the residential side? Sam DeBianchi of DeBianchi Real Estate is here. And Sam, that's the big question. I want to pick up on what Grady was talking about, right? A lot of these commercial properties might really be in trouble here as more and more of these small businesses go out of business, don't come back from the pandemic. What do you say?
Sure. I mean, it's really hard to tell exactly how things are going to play out right now. I mean, for me, I own a lot of residential property, so I own 9 single-family homes. And it's a bit scary and concerning, but at the same time, real estate, no matter if it's residential or commercial, it's all about adaptability, especially when you own these properties. So, for example, maybe my renters can't pay a full month. They could pay a half a month. They can pay me later on. Maybe they can pay me a half a month now, and then the rest of the month can be paid back in, I have some people doing landscape work, handyman work, painting the walls, adding more improvements to my property. So it doesn't always have to be money. And again, this can be, I own commercial real estate as well. So there's lots of ways to really be creative to make it work. As far as my new tenants on the residential side, I'm being a lot more strict. So I require everything from a background check, credit reports, income verification, renter's insurance, and interview. By the time I'm done with my renters, I can tell you their favorite color and their lucky number. But that's what really needs to be done. And as far as upfront money, it's first month, last month, and a security month, which again is a full month. Some tenants I'm also requiring first month, second month, last month, and security. And, some people say, well, isn't that too much? Isn't that scaring some people? But I have yet to really get any resistance from my tenants. I'm in a good position, but again, it's working with people. It's listening to people. It's not being that big bad landlord. You got to make it work.
Well, you know what though, Sam? It's tough because I know so many people that are, quote, ma and pa investors that bought a few different pieces of property, and whether it's Airbnb or they've got tenants, that was their income and that was their dream in some cases. And they're getting hit right now. I do want to move on, though, just because you're in South Florida. I do want to ask you about what your thoughts are on these 3 counties that are entering phase 2 of reopening. How's it going down there?
It's interesting. So I'm in Broward County, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and everyone is extremely anxious to get things reopened. I mean, I walk every evening with my husband down Las Olas Boulevard, which is the downtown area, and everyone is walking, biking. I mean, it's a very active community. Everyone's kind of outside these restaurants, getting takeout and just really wanting things to open. But I think it's so important that we do things in the manner in which they need to happen. So slow and steady, because the last thing we want is to open up too fast and then we're back at square one again. As far as in real estate, I still have tons of people calling and saying, hey, I want to buy down there. I get tons of people from New York. Hey, I want to buy down in South Florida. When is it good? Things going to reopen? And it's slowed down. It's just...
you know what, Sam? I got to run, but I'm going to tell you something. Charles Payne's producers put up Clearwater, Florida. That's where I was born. That's where I need to buy. That looked pretty darn good to me right now as a lady who's been stuck in Manhattan for 8 weeks. Sam, thank you very much. We'll have to talk about this offline. I'm going to have to call you about that. Sam DeBianchi. Sam, thank you very much. Great to have you on the show.